Your celebrity.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Labor Justice Radio. I'm your host, Charles Clark. Co-host, Jim Moran. How you doing, Jim?
I'm good. How are you doing, Chow?
Better now that I'm here. Bus routes detoured. All kinds of crazy.
It's crazy driving to Center City, Philadelphia, that's for sure.
Yeah. And our guest, Richard Hooker.
Yes, sir. Good
How
to see
are
you. Good. Good to see you guys again. The legendary team.
All right. For the listeners that might not know, Richard Hooker Jr., shop steward at the Hub,
Right.
which is UPS's facility at Philadelphia International Airport. So, since we are late getting started, let's get right to it.
All right.
What's the latest in this contract situation between the Teamsters and UPS?
Well, they have a handshake agreement. Our officials and the company agreed to the terms that were proposed. They're going to send it out sometime after August 9th. Every local official is going to send a two-man committee to Chicago area for the final look over, I guess, final reading before they send out to the membership for the vote.
So that's a tentative, is that what you're saying?
Right, it's a tentative handshake agreement. Yeah,
Handshake,
we got to vote on it. It's,
Okay.
Still got to vote.
All right. So the strike is averted.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. We voted 93% to strike if necessary. That was back in early July.
Right.
So now the chief negotiator extended it, the time period, because actually our contract expires tomorrow.
Right.
It expires tomorrow.
Right.
But they extended it indefinitely because they had to finish some supplements in each area. I had to get some things together. So I think all but one.
Pardon me, is this a national agreement, then you're saying?
National. It's a national, and then there's supplemental agreements along with it.
So some cities could say no, and others could say yes,
Yes.
and you could still settle it that way?
Right.
Okay.
But because this contract we have now, 18 supplements were shot down. Then it got to 13, and there was 3 left. Ours here in 623, Local 89 in Kentucky, and then Western PA. But they shoved the whole contract on us, even regardless of the fact that we voted no all the time. Right.
Okay. So if the chief negotiator, you said, extended the contract indefinite period.
Right.
So even if this contract gets voted no, you still, and the company doesn't come back with a better offer, you don't have the right to strike them.
We don't have the right to strike unless our officials call it. There's wording in the Constitution. There's so many loopholes in the Constitution, teams of Constitution, that allow our general president to kind of dictate to us no matter what we say or do. So we could, like this contract here we're on now, we voted it down 3 times or 2 times. Didn't get a chance for the 3rd vote, and they just shoved it right on us. This time could be the same. I think this time it's going to, this time the national passed the first time. So that was kind of the crush that they had. You know what I mean? This time it looks like the national won't pass, and along with supplements that won't pass as well. So this time we're in a better position to strike. Hopefully our leadership would do what the members ask. Hopefully.
Okay. All right. That gives us a broad picture.
Right.
There. Now, what are the pros and cons that exist in this handshake agreement?
Well, the pros is there's going to be more full-time opportunities for part-timers, more pension contributions.
Okay.
But then the cons is attached to the pros. And that's funny because the pros with getting the new full-time jobs, they want to pay the hybrid driver, when we talked about last time.
Right.
They want to give those jobs, doing the same job a regular driver would do, at a $6 pay less.
Okay.
So even though you're getting more full-time jobs, you're paying the member less to do the same job.
Right.
Right. And of course, pension contributions are always good. But again, now in our local supplement, there's a catch to that. And I was just talking to Mr. Jim, and maybe he can explain more about it. What happened was this. In our local meeting we had last couple of Saturdays ago, our principal officer was reading through the supplement, and everybody was cool and calm. You know, the supplement is really no improvements than what we have right now. But when it got to the ending, there was a provision in there that says if the members of Local 623 don't vote yes the first time, you will lose part of your raise, and that will be put into your pension. If you vote, if you don't vote yes the first time, if you vote no, we're going to take your raise, some of your raise, and we're going to put it toward the pension.
Okay.
So it's like they're extorting a yes vote because, like I said, the supplement is really no improvements. There's nothing gaining for. It's all for the company. So what you're telling me is, if I vote yes, I'll get to keep my raise, but the supplement is bad. But if I vote no, you're going to take my part of my raise, put it to the pension, and my supplement is still bad. So.
Okay. Now, when you say the supplement is bad, are there things other than the hybrid driver?
No, for an example, they have language in it now that says that the driver could take a half an hour lunch. Right. Now that's a concession because right now, if you work, in our contract, if you work any part of your lunch, you're supposed to get paid overtime for that. So by me working half of my lunch, it's not helping me. I'm losing the overtime, and everybody in the UPS world knows that all they're going to do is give you half an hour more work. They're not going to help you out by giving you, hey, you can take half hour so you can get home half an hour earlier. No, we're going to give you some more packages, some more deliveries. So since UPS has a way of manipulating all the language in the contract. They've been doing it. They're going to continue to do it as long as we have these guys in office.
Is that the reason I took that long pause?
Right.
You were saying that the company was calling up individual workers.
Yes. Now,
tell me about that.
Okay, now, for the first time in history, since I've been there, I talked to a lot of old timers. This is the first time UPS has actually went out of their way to promote a contract. Yesterday, they actually called members' homes and talked to them about the contract. Now, I was talking to Mr. Jimmy. He was telling me about that's a violation of labor law.
I'm no lawyer, but as I understand it, the first page of most union contracts talks about, it's called the recognition clause. It recognizes the local 623 of the Teamsters will be the sole bargaining agent on wages, hours, and working conditions at these various facilities where our members are working. So the company is not then allowed to go around the union and go directly at a worker to try to convince that worker of anything A, B, or C. Beside the point, you deal with the union, you negotiate it with the union. So if they're doing that, I don't doubt that there'll be a labor board charge over that.
It should be. It should be because they're telling our members, even in the PCM, which is the pre-communication meeting right before you start work. Hey, look, this is the contract. It's a good deal. We got a handshake agreement. They're trying to confuse the members so when they get the ballot, don't worry about that. It's already done. And that's what they're trying to do. I've never seen the company go out of their way to promote a contract. Our officers are doing the same thing. It's like
you mean you never saw them go to the individual worker?
That as well. I mean, they're putting propaganda out. Hey, look, this is for your family, for your future. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff to try to get this contract passed.
I mean, it's very important for the status of the union that you recognize that they have to negotiate changes in wages, hours, and working conditions with that union.
Right.
And to go around them, that's really like a pretty serious matter.
Right.
That they would try to go directly to individual workers.
Now, what if, I don't know for sure, now what if they got the okay from our officials to do that?
I doubt.
Like I said, I don't know
I
for
doubt
sure.
that.
But I mean, this is too much collusion for me.
That sounds
You know
like
what I mean?
collusion, but
That's what I mean, because this stuff is keep happening.
I doubt that they
You know
would
what I
give
mean? I don't
such
know.
a permission. That's pretty bad.
Well, Tim, I don't know. I can't say yay or nay.
Right.
But
I never heard of it. Put it that
Right.
way.
Like I never seen this either with them pushing this contract so hard.
yeah, and it raises in my mind the fact that the chief negotiator put on the table
Right.
this hybrid driver
Right.
clause or whatever.
But that's not the only thing. A lot of the people have. Well, I think it was TDU, Teamsters United. They put out 10 reasons to vote no, and one of those reasons were in particular to me because I'm a shop steward on the inside,
Right.
and one of the reasons to vote no is they changed the language in the technology discipline language. Before it was any employee would not be subject to discipline solely on technology. That's what it reads now.
Okay.
But they took the employee out and put no driver will be subject to discipline under this agreement.
Okay.
So now I got members in the inside who use technology to scan and load in the cans, trucks, whatever.
Right.
So what you're saying to me now is if they go somewhere to the bathroom or the supervisor takes over for them, loads and misload in the can, then that member is subject to discipline because their name is in that scanner.
Right.
So what you're saying is, hey, you on the hook for that.
Okay.
That's no good.
So
That's no good.
They cover the drivers for those kinds of possible mistakes.
Well, it used to be all employees. Now they just said no
Okay.
driver. They took
Took the word employee
right
out
and put just
put
driver
driver
there.
in.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
And you know how UPS is good. They're going to use that. Oh my goodness.
all bosses
Yes.
use whatever they can and twist whatever they can
Right.
to their benefit.
Oh, yeah. Let me ask this. How many members are we talking about in this local?
You have about 4,000 right now.
Okay, how many of them are drivers?
I would say drivers, I would say about 25%, maybe 1,000 maybe.
Okay.
If that many. It's not many.
See the misconception here and the misperception by not only the company but the general public is they think of Teamsters drivers.
Right.
They don't think of all the other folks that are connected to this and do
Yeah.
different kinds of work, etc.
Right.
Different sets of skills, and on and on and on. So it's not just drivers. Okay,
Right.
Right.
that's clear. That's very clear.
Most of the bargaining units is part-time inside work. And that's about probably 3,000 members
You said part-time.
part-time. They make up the biggest
So
part of UPS.
So they don't get the benefits in the contract.
They get the benefits.
Part-timers
They
get
get all the benefits and everything. But let me tell you what they did to the part-timers. Now they bumped up the starting rate to $13, which the proposal was $15, right?
Okay.
But this is the thing. I'm gonna give you an example. My son, he started working there about a month ago, right? And
Right.
his starting wage is $10.35. Now come August 1st, it'll be $13.
Okay.
Now his raise, contractual raise, will be bigger than mine, and I've been there almost 20 years.
Okay.
Now you see that. Now they are rewarding the new hire or the person that has not been there that long, and forgetting about the people that's been there. And a lot of part timers are upset about that because you got a guy who's been there for 4 or 5 years making $13 an hour. Then you bring a guy off the street making the same thing as I'm making.
It's interesting. So you think perhaps it should be incremental and go up
There
piece at a
should be
time?
there should be a catch-up rate. If the guy coming off the street is going to get a $2.65 raise, then the person who's been there with all the seniority should get that same amount of raise. And then if you want to give the contractual raise per year, I can see that. But don't slight the people that's been there. Don't slight them because they're the one that's making you billions and billions in profit. Don't forget about them.
Is that a bone of contention among the membership?
Yes, you can see it. It's starting to divide because a lot of members like, oh, you're just starting and you're going to make the same amount as me, and I've been here 4 or 5 years, blood, sweat, and tears. But they're doing it because they want to pass this contract so bad, because it's going to be hard to tell a new hire, hey, look, you've been here for 2 months. You've been doing a good job. We appreciate you coming in. We're going to give you $2.65 come August 1st. It's going to be hard to tell that member to vote no.
Right. It's just like it's like bribing the vote
yes.
of a certain
and
sector.
And that's what UPS and the union is together on, because we have our officials now going around and telling our new members, hey, look, if you vote no on this contract, you're not going to get that big bump and raise. And UPS is saying, hey, and they even have gotten so smart and technical that once they make seniority, they throw in parties and all this stuff. The union is not doing that. So if I'm throwing you a party, congratulating you on your seniority,
right,
and I'm going to give you a $2.65 raise August 1st, and I don't see my official, I don't see anything, who am I going to trust?
Right.
That's why we gotta be more involved with the membership as rank and file members. Can't depend on the leaders.
Everybody's fighting for higher wages for starters.
Right.
Okay, we're talking $15 an hour and
right.
stuff like that. And here we have a situation where you start them. Basically, you're starting them at 13.
Right.
Okay, which not too bad today,
Right.
given what's out there. And so there are vibrations and reverberations throughout the rest of the local and how it affects other people.
Right.
It's
exactly
an interesting. What is the proposal to resolve this? Is there a proposal on the table to resolve that question?
The only thing that we can do is vote the whole contract down and send it back to the table. That's where we at right now, because they got the handshake agreement, so they're not going to change anything. They're going to send it out. Only way we can do is we vote no to the whole thing. That's the only power that we have.
Yeah, you can't vote it partially. You can only vote
just
it up or down.
Right.
Yeah.
Vote no all the way. Supplement and national. Everything has to go back to the table. That's the only way we're going to get what we want. That's the only way.
Now you said the union is also approaching part-timers.
They're approaching everybody. Part-time, they don't. It doesn't matter. They want the contract to be passed.
Right.
They want it to pass.
Was your question about management approaching workers individually, or what?
No,
You said the union?
Right.
Yeah.
The officials, yeah.
So the union is what, putting out information to the membership, asking them to vote yes on the contract?
They're telling them to vote yes on the contract. And like I said, on that last meeting we had, they're trying to extort a yes vote. If you vote yes, the UPS will take care of the pension. Don't worry about taking them from your raise. But if you vote no, this is what's going to happen. Now, my thing is, if we fall for this now, they're going to do this every single time. And then what's to say collective bargaining is going to be held hostage?
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be held hostage, because now I'm going to come in and say, hey, look, if you tell your people, if they don't do this, then we done. So why have collective bargaining?
So people feel threatened.
Yes, that was the biggest. I think the main words was threats and extortion after the meeting.
Well, see, this problem, their problem of what the part-timers are due to get August 1st, and the workers with seniority feeling some kind of way about the newest guy on the block making the same amount of money.
Right.
Okay. It should be obvious to the senior workers that this is a move by the company to sow discord within the ranks.
Right.
Okay.
How did the old timers, not the best term, how did the senior members get to $13 an hour themselves? How did that happen over the past several years?
They had to go through the
there were
contractual
steps.
the contractual raises.
So there were steps that got them there.
1 year you got this raise. Make sure you
Right.
got this rate. Then that puts you at
So
$13.
they're seeing it as, well, these other folks don't have to go through these steps.
No,
We went through
this-
all these
right,
steps and we worked
right,
hard, and that's how
right,
we got $13.
right,
I get
right,
it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when a new contract is settled, whatever the first raise is, say it's these days is 2 and 5 and 2 and 3%. Okay. So let's go for the gusto. Let's say it's a 3% raise.
Right.
Then everybody across the board would get that. Is that correct? Or would the guys
Right.
that just got that $2 and whatever raise?
The way they have it now is the person that coming off the street, they will get the biggest raise, or the person that has the person that's now making $13 right now
Right.
will automatically jump up to $13, and the person coming right in the door will make $13.
Okay.
But the person who's been there about 3 years, 4 years, who had to wait 4 years to get $13 an hour,
Right.
that's where you have the discord. And then plus the people that's been there 10, 15 years, like, hold on a minute. Like I said, my son, love him dearly, but his contractual rate shouldn't be bigger than mine. And I've been there almost 20 years. Because my proposed raise, even if the contract go through, is $4.15
Okay.
over the course of 5 years.
Right.
His would be about $5.15 when you add in the $265 and then the contractual raise per year.
Right.
His would be $1 more than mine.
Okay.
And that goes on with, different, how much ever you make. It's,
Right.
that's how that goes.
Right. It goes up accordingly.
Right.
I think that could be worked out, though. I really do. I think they could take, and alter some
Right,
language.
they should.
And, yeah,
But the only way we have to vote no, the whole thing, and to send them back to
in
the
order
table.
to get it sent back to the
Right,
table.
Right, because if it goes through, we're done. We're done.
Well, here's my take. And in a way, I disagree with the people that have a problem with the workers coming up to $13 and whatever cents an hour. And that problem is that even at $13 an hour, that's still not a living wage.
Right, it's not. It's not.
And the more people you have making that $13, and you're able to show them that that's still not a living rate wage, the more people you have to fight to move those wages higher. As a union member, I would look for the benefit of all of the workers.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Now, situation presents itself that I can get some of those workers bumped up, but not everybody. But I can get everybody even. I would go for it. And then mount the fight to move higher as far as wages. But I wouldn't, as a union member, as a member of the working in that shop, I wouldn't begrudge the younger people coming in of getting a halfway decent rate.
Well, on top of that, Charles, the legislatures are toying with, and we're certainly going to see much argument about this in contention, but the $15 an hour thing is
Right.
still on the table.
Right.
So
yeah.
for all we know, 6 months from now, it could be the law that you got to pay $15 an hour.
I doubt it.
I'm just saying it could be.
But I understand
Yeah.
what your example.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's a good example in this situation.
Right.
Because if the law did change to $15, the guy that got hired, the person that got hired yesterday, and the person that got hired 5 years ago are each going to go to $15.
$15.
Okay.
Right.
So
Let's have that problem.
Right.
wouldn't-
Right. I agree.
I wouldn't worry, fuss, fret about the situation of new people coming up to the same pay level I am, I would be happy that they're there. And now, talk to, educate, and recruit.
Right. That's what we're doing.
To have them come along with us, you know.
Right.
But showing resentment could have a negative. Actually, I say could be a negative.
We will.
Gotta watch where that goes.
Right. But that's what we've been curbing it a lot. In the beginning, it was like a lot of hostility. But when we talk to different members, hey, look, it's not the members' fault. It's actually, it comes down to how it got negotiated. But we have a chance to turn that around. So that message has been sticking with the membership now. But in the beginning, it was like, oh, man, I can't believe these guys making, hey, look, don't blame the newer member.
Right.
If you want to point blame at somebody, you need to blame the people that's negotiating. But we can change that by voting it. And that's what I was there this morning talking to a lot of the younger members on the day sort, telling them, hey, look, this is how we can get what you guys need, but you got to vote. And I gave them the information. You know, that's what we've been doing. I was went out to Utah a couple of weeks ago doing the same thing with those members. Hey, look, this is what we need to do to make sure we get a good contract. You know, we can't keep blaming the people in office if we don't vote, you know.
Right.
You're out in Utah, you said?
Yes, sir.
It's good to hear we got unions in Utah.
Well, oh yeah, local 222 out there. We're representing out there in Utah for the UPS workers. But I got to ask you guys a quick question before what happened. I talked to Mr. Moran, and you wasn't here, about what do you think that, was that extortion or was that a threat, how that was presented to us to get us to go yes? Because the way
that was a definite maneuver,
right,
to get you to say yes,
right,
vote, not necessarily in your best interest,
right.
Show you, it's the old trick, show you something fancy and shiny, and that's what you're supposed to go for.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be. I think we can do it, but that's why I'm on vacation this week, so I'm going to be hitting all the gates I can.
Don't trust the boss. Yeah, that's where that comes down.
Yeah, don't trust the boss. That's why I couldn't believe that they called us. Like, hey, you know, this contract is this, that, and the other, you know.
Yeah, that's a violation.
Yeah.
But listen, Richard Hooker Jr., thank you very much for taking the time to
No problem.
be here with us. I apologize for my late arrival. But I think we covered.
We did.
We covered the subject.
Right. Better late than never.
Right.
Thank you.
Better late than never.
And when it gets ratified, I'll come back and tell you what happened. If we vote no, I'll come back and tell you.
Come back and share the money with us.
Hey, okay, no problem. Hey, you guys. Hey, for you guys, I wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Oh yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for this week. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, that was I hope we. I don't know if our local's going to do it, but we do need to file something because they called. Everybody was talking about that the contract. They even got, like I said, propaganda on their web pages about how good it is and this, that, and the other. Yeah, I was.
Who's got the propaganda on the web pages?
UPS.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and then like I said, they called us yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you.
All right, good people. We'll talk to y'all.
They're gonna